Hey everybody, welcome back. Devin UG, Original Grognard, sitting back down here looking at, oh my god, what is this? World at War 85, Storming the Gap, continuing our playthrough of Scenario 10, Zweite Gegenangriff, or Second Counterattack. West German forces counterattacking against the Soviets. Have not been pleased with my last camera that I was using because for some reason I couldn't get the autofocus to work. It was a real pain in the ass. So I went ahead and switched back to my old camera, the original camera I was using. I think there's some slight video quality degradation between the two, but I can't really remember, so I'm not really going to be able to see or notice it till I get to post-production. This one does, however, autofocus decently. The only problem with this thing is that it's hard coded to shut off after about 20-25 minutes of video recording, so I kind of got to keep an eye on the timer, a pretty close eye on the timer, because there's been a few times when I've been recording with it and it shut off and I didn't realize and went on for 3 or 4 minutes before I realized and lost, all that recording time. Highly annoying. I wish I used my roommate's. I think she's got an Apple phone. I used her phone to record one episode with one time, and that was beautiful. It was 1980 by 60 FPS, and it just looked pretty. Problem was, I'd hook it up through the USB port to my computer, and my computer wouldn't see anything on the hard drive. I go over to my roommate's computer, and I'd do the exact same thing, plug it in, and the file would be right there. Go back to my computer doesn't say, and we both have IBM computers. I just don't know what the difference was or why I was not able to see the file. And so if I want to use her camera, I got to download on her computer and then process it on her computer and upload it from. And I don't think she likes me that much to let me do that on a regular basis. So here we are back at the old camera. I want to say I'm actually kind of impressed with the last video. I think I had one thing pointed out that I did wrong. Is that when these Soviet units retreated back from the fire hex, that I didn't leave the headquarters attached to the unit I thought I did, but someone pointed out, actually the designer of the game, Keith, pointed it out to me, that I didn't leave the headquarters attached. My intent was, I have headquarters, if they're infantry, I attach them to infantry, I don't attach them. See, that's my intent. It may have been sitting on top of the stack, which would have been the BMP, but I don't remember. I could have gone back and looked. I take Keith's word for it. I don't, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You can shift headquarters around willy-nilly anyway. So I think that was pretty much the only thing I got. The other thing, well, one of the things that I realized that I kind of forgot to do was the concealment bonus for defensive dice rolling. However, remembering back, I remembered that there wasn't a situation where concealment came in. But I try to remember it for this video, but no guarantees. Also, one thing I did want to point out, more charts, because we love charts. We love play aids and charts. So anyways, we've got our really cool missile ammo usage chart, which we actually did use last time, so you can find out what type of missile platform you're using and if your reload fails and all that other good stuff. And you got your special ability triangle references right here, which is really cool. But on the back of it, and this is one thing that has changed a huge amount from the first rule set. Movement of fire summary chart. In the original, very few NATO units could, well, not a few, but not very few, but some NATO units could move and fire. Of course, they do it with degraded capabilities, and virtually no Soviet units could. Well, in the second edition, they've kind of changed it, and pretty much every unit has the ability to move and fire. So, sample unit, obviously not all. Soviet tank, U.S. Bradley, looks like, West German something or other, armored car. Nation unit and firepower. Any ground unit with black, blue, green, AP, or HE expend at least one movement point up to half half movement points. They're at -2 firepower dice, minimum 1. Expend more than half, prohibited. Soviet packed allied units with orange AP or firepower. If they move at least 1 movement point up to half, it's -1 firepower. And expend more than half, rounded down, -2 firepower, yada, 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 all the way down. So this is really great. I love this chart because, and that's one thing I'm going to probably have a problem remembering, shifting from the first edition to this new edition, is that everybody has the potential to fire and move, which is a huge change because in the original system, virtually no Soviet pack allied unit could fire and move. So that's gonna be something we're gonna have to try to remember, because I'm sure I'm going to forget it. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into. I know the last video went really long. My videos tend to do that, the first video, because I'm usually talking tactics and strategy and all that good stuff. So we're going to try to go a little bit faster this time. I'm going to try not to explain as much. Yeah, we've seen how that goes with me. So here's the cards, and let's shuffle the cards. Let's mana weave them. I guess that's what the cool kids call this nowadays, is mana weaving from Magic. So I don't know. It's just an easy way for me to shuffle. And then I shuffle again, just so there's no appearance of impropriety if I get half a dozen West German counters all at the beginning, so people can't say, oh, you cheated. So I'll say, here's the cards. Let's watch the camera. Go up here, because honestly, it's what I would do if I was watching someone play. And it's like, ah, sure, you stack the deck. Yeah, I'm a distrustful individual. It's a heavy burden to bear. Anyway, so let's go ahead. Let's take a look. Let's do this procedurally. Take a look at the sequence play chart. Initiative phase, we don't have an initiative phase. Ops phase begins ops phase, or continue it after last card activities. Draw a card from the top deck and see what it be. Yada, 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 yada. All right, so just go ahead. What do we got first? 153rd Panzer. That's the West Germans up there. And oh, there it is. It's been a while since I used this camera, so I accidentally turned myself on. So anyways, those Germans up there. Okay. That's the tanks, and hopefully we'll be smart enough to clear myself off this road so I can actually move. All right, so operations phase, we got a formation or designated formation, so we go into formation impulse. Refresh. Remove all ops complete and out of command markers. Command status, reassign leaders, deploy headquarters, and check for command effect. Now, if I wanted to, I can move the headquarter. And the rules for moving a headquarter is pretty simple. It's pretty, as long as you've got the range, I think it's 4. Actually, I don't even, as long as you can move to another unit that's not moving through an enemy unit, then I think you can do it with no problem. So yeah, the rules for moving headquarters around are relatively basic and simple. However, I kind of like where the headquarters is right now, so we're just going to leave it right there. Command status, reload, roll for missile reload status for units with missile ammo reload markers. We don't have any of those with these. Disruption removal, check to remove disruption markers. And we do have a couple disruption markers out there. We got the recon unit right here. And we got that that half-step Leo unit. So again, this hasn't changed from the original. It's real easy. Is take a look at the formation card. Well, it has changed a little bit, just where the numbers are. So formation morale is a 7, range of 5 if the unit is if the headquarters is at full strength, and 4 if it is at half strength. So we're looking at a 7. So it's basically just take 2 dice and roll equal to or less than the formation's command rating. So we'll go ahead with the Luch first. We're looking at a 7 or, whoops, helps if I don't roll too many dice, because if I roll 3 dice, chances are I'm not going to succeed. 9, so the Luch does not, and we have the half-strength Leo. 12, definitely not. Okay, things still not going good for the West Germans. Poopy. All right. So offboard artillery. Ooh, look at that. Offboard artillery strikes. Execute up to 2 offboard artillery strikes. Yay, we're going to do that. So it has to either be a recon unit. Unfortunately, my recon unit is disrupted. Or it has to be a headquarters unit. Unfortunately, the only headquarters that this formation has is right here. And I can't, my line of sight is blocked over here by those woods. So I'm not going to be able to drop Artie there. But I can drop Artie. Really, the only thing I could see here is the Zissou. And I don't think I want to waste an artillery strike on the Zissou. Yeah, you know what? As much as I'd love to be able to blow some artillery all over the Soviet frontage, I'm not going to. Not yet. We'll save that. All right. So then after offboard artillery strikes is actions. Movement, direct fire, move and fire, onboard, direct, indirect fire, assault. Okay, now this actually kind of sucks that these guys ended up going first. Because they're going to catch some op fire. Because I gotta clear this road and this bridge to be able to get this headquarters unit. So, and if I move, it's going to be moving fire rules, but I need to clear the road anyways. So, you know what? Actually, from the looks of things, I don't think I'm going to be catching a lot of op fire. I think that hex right there. Going to be the only. What do we got there? We got those T-55s there, but these are just T-55s. They're crappy tanks. Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and take this Leo, move them right there, and I think we'll have this T-55 fire first. It's op fire. It's 11 range, 3 dice at 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's definitely within range. So no modifiers. 3 dice at 6. The way the Soviets have been shooting. Okay, nothing. Woohoo! Yay. 1, 2. Which will trigger another fire from that T-55. So again, 3 dice at 6. 5, 1, 3. So no hits. That's good. But I think we're going to stop moving there because if I want to move and fire. And this is, let's take a look. It is a NATO allied unit with orange high explosive or HE. And so let's go. See, it auto focuses slowly on its own. Look at that. So it does have orange armor piercing and high explosive. So it is going. I'll wait for it to slowly slowly focuses back. See, why can't my camera do that? My other camera. So NATO allied unit with orange armor piercing and high explosive. Expend at least 1 movement point and up to half movement points for no effect. So he's got a movement of 5, so the best I'm going to be able to do is 2 movement points, because if I move a 3rd movement point, that's going to be over half, and I don't want to do that. So what we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and move and fire now. And, well, you know, he's going to fire up there in the open. So let's go ahead and fire at the unit that hasn't fired yet. We're looking at 4 dice at 5. No modifiers for the fire and move. 4 dice at 5. 2 hits. Not bad. A 6 and a 5. So we got 2 hits. And the Soviet defense on the T-55 is 2 dice at 6. All right there. And there's no defensive terrain. So it's going to be 2 dice at 6. And just to make sure, what I need to do is get one of my big dice out so I can keep track and remember the hits that I've inflicted every time. So 2 dice at 6, no defensive, nothing. So 2 hits get through. First hit disrupts, second hit flips. So we're going to disrupt the T-55 and flip it, and we're going to put it to the bottom of the stack, like so. All right, that was pretty good. So it's going to be that Leo unit. Now, this is going to allow this Leo unit to go 1, 2, and that's as far as he's going to be able to move if I want to shoot on the move without any penalties. And they are going to go ahead and open up on the other T-55, the undisrupted one. That's just kind of hanging out there. So, again, it's going to be 4 dice at 5. So I'll get 4 dice, but I'll get 2 more dice because I'm stacked with the HQ. And the HQ bonus is that 2 right there. You get to add that into your firepower dice. So I'm going to get 6 dice at 5. No penalties or anything. 1 hit. No, 2. Yep, 1 hit. 1, 1, 3, 3, 4, 6. So we got 1 hit. And we know the T-55s are 2 dice at 6. And there's no defensive penalty, defensive armor modifiers. 3 and a 4, so nothing. So it doesn't damage him, but it does disrupt him. So let's go ahead and put him under the disrupted marker as well, since both units in that hex are disrupted. And we mark that unit with an ops complete. The disrupted Leo can't do anything. The disrupted Lush can't do anything. So that's basically end of the turn for them. So we're done. All right. Move on to the next one. Next formation card. Battlefield event friction card. We love the battlefield. All right, so we got 2d6 to see what the battlefield event is, although the last time this happened, Germans lost 1 step. Let's see, 5. Where's my battlefield friction table? I just had it here. So many charts and tables. Like I said, a lot of charts and tables in this game, but I prefer having the charts and tables than having to flip through the rule book all the time. All right, so we start off with the friction table. Sometimes they'll send you to the event table. And we rolled a 5. So 5, friendly fire. Uh-oh, side affected. 1 side, so we're going to have to roll for it. Friendly fire isn't. No, friendly fire isn't. Poor training and lax internal coordination combined with deadly results. Your opponent chooses any of your free units on the map. All right, well, first of all, let's see who this is affecting. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. It's affecting NATO. 4, 5, or 6 is affecting PAC. 6, so this is going to be affecting the PAC side. So they are the side that is affected. Okay, your opponent, which in this case, since it's affecting the PAC, it's going to be NATO, any of the units on the map. Then your opponent rolls 1d6. On a 1 through 3, fire for effect is checked and there is no effect. On a 4 or 5, your opponent places the fire for effect marker in the chosen hex and executes an off-board artillery HE strike the strength 3, 4. On a 6, your opponent places the FFE marker in the chosen hex and executes an off-board artillery MLRS strength of 3, 3. Okay, that's bad. MLR, yeah, okay, anyways, we'll see if we get to that. Once any strength is resolved, draw the next card and continue the ops phase. So, let's see. The Warsaw Pact, your opponent chooses any of your units on the map. Any of your units on the map. You know what? Let's go ahead and just because it doesn't say I have to have line of sight of them, so we're gonna choose that hex right there, just because it's got the headquarters. I know I'm headquarters hunting. I'm a horrible person. Then your opponent rolls 1d6, so this would be the West Germans. On a 1 through 3, fire for effect is checked. 2. Okay, so the fire is checked, and there is no effect. If I'd have rolled a 4 or 5, I'd have gotten a high explosive strike on there. If I'd have gotten a 6, it would have been an MLRS strike. What's the difference, you might ask? Well, high explosive only hits the 1 hex. So had the effect gone off, it would have just affected that hex. MLRS, however, affects the target location and all 6 surrounding hexes. I think the Soviets are the only ones that have off-board MLRS. Now, I know the U.S., although at the time, I don't know if they... No, that was... I'm thinking the Paladin. No, NATO had MLRS launchers as well. Those aren't in this game, I think. Anyways, so regardless, the Soviets, it's like, what's this artillery coming? Oh, this is our own artillery. Wait, stop, don't shoot us. All right, so that's the end of that. that card. So we flip the next card. What do we got? Two 224-second guards motor, not motorized, motor. No, this is motorized. Guards Motorized Rifle Regiment. That's the blue guys right there. Zoom in on them a little bit. Those guys right there. Again, procedurally, let's go through. Refresh. Remove ops complete and out of command markers. Well, okay, yeah, these guys. Oh, no, they're disrupted. How did they get disrupted? I think I shot at them last turn. That's why they got disrupted. Oh, no, you know what? I think that should have been an ops complete. I think I messed that up. Should have been an ops complete. All right, so remove ops complete and out of command markers. Reassign leaders. Let's see, where's their headquarters? Oh, that's right. These guys didn't activate at all last time. So we were holding out the end of operations card with their headquarters. Okay, so let's go ahead and take the end of operations. Let's go ahead and take care of that right now. And that gets the end of operations gets shuffled back into the deck. Again, so there's no accusations of malfeasance. So, and put those back in there. All right. So, reassign leaders, deploy HQs, and check for command effects. All right. So, deploying headquarters, pretty easy. You just put it basically where you want on your formation. I don't think there's any restrictions on it. Let us take a look at the exact rules. I was looking at this. Deploy headquarters of the map, page 38. Again, phenomenal index in this. Once all leaders have been transferred, the activated headquarters mountain may now deploy to the map. Headquarters must always be either on the map stacked with friendly unit, off the map in the friendly headquarters SW holding box, or off map in the friendly suppressed holding box, or off map on top of a retained in operation card, which was what they were. To deploy the HQ to another hex, an eligible... let's see. If the HQ is not on the map at the beginning of the step, but is in the friendly HQ SW holding box, headquarters may be deployed to the map onto any hex containing a unit of the activated formation. In this case, is unnecessary trace an eligible path to the deployment hex. Once deployed, headquarters may also move with the unit in which they are stacked. So yeah, I just basically get to plop them down anyway. So do I want to put them up with the Leos so the Leos get extra dice, or do I want to kind of protect them? Nah, let's put them up with the Leos. Lead from the front, I say. All right, so we deployed headquarters. Roll missile reload status, we don't have that. Disruption removal, check for removal disruption markers. We do have that. So now, again, real easy. You look at the command card. Command rating is a 6 with a range of 4. If the HQ is at full strength, 3 if it's at reduced strength. So it's got a headquarters or morale value of 6. So we've got 2 units right here, a half strength and a full strength. Let's go for the half strength. 8, no, and the full strength. 8, no. Wow, nobody wants to come. That was probably okay. That's a bad thing. Used to be you would get bonuses to your morale for being stacked with headquarters. I tried looking for that in the new rules. I couldn't find it, but that doesn't mean it's not there. It just means I may have been looking in the wrong spot. So, however, at most I think it would have been 1, maybe. Well, if it had been 2. Then that would, but I think at most it might have been 1, which I'm sure someone will point it out. Keith will point it out to me. Is it Keith? I hope I'm saying that right. Let me take a look. Yes, Keith. All right. I'm absolutely friggin' horrible with names. Literally, one of my best friends for like the first year and a half of our relationship. Every time his name was Brandon. or is Brandon. I would call him Brent for some reason. And for like the first year and a half of our friendship, I'd say Brent. Oh, I mean Brent. I don't know what it is with me and names. I just am horrible with names, so you'll have to forgive me. So nobody got undisrupted. So then it goes into operations. Well, I mean, I could move those armored infantry. I got the T-55 there. I could shoot. What support weapons is that? Those guys only have got... How did they got the support weapon-wise? This is the only... Oh, they got a Sagger. That's not too bad for the infantry. Support weapons like this... I'll go ahead and touch bases on this real quick. The infantry support weapons, you can see it because it's got the little red diamond within infantry. These are attached to infantry platoons. Now, there are some weapon types, I think they ARM, that are attached to guns or tanks, but and then mine plows can be attached to tanks, I know that. But as far as infantry support weapons, these are attached to infantry units. And the scenario says what formations happen. You don't have to place them right away. You can actually place them anytime you want when you use them. So, but I've got the 2 infantry units are still on board these BTRs. So I could move the BTRs up, unload the infantry, and get ready to use the Saggers. Because I honestly, right at this, well, command range is only 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I couldn't get these guys far enough. Since the headquarters is basically locked to these 2 units that can't move, I'm going to have to keep the formation there, because if I move the infantry down this way to try to take cover and support the village, I'm not going to have enough movement, because the headquarters has to stay behind because they're attached to disrupted units that can't move. Shouldn't have put the headquarters there. Well, that was probably a bad thing on my point. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and just stick it under. There we go. And I don't want to leave those BTRs asses hanging in the wind in the open when we've still got active Leos over here. All right, so I guess the infantry, the formation, I'm not going to be shifting the formation's position. Plus, with the village down here, soon to be, well, it is partially on fire. It could very well end up being more on fire here very soon. There's no need to push the, okay, so yeah, we're not moving the formation. But we are going to go ahead and fire this T-55. 3 dice at 6. Let's just... I fired the disrupted, reduced... Yeah, let's go ahead and I think my best chances of inflicting casualties is firing at this disrupted, reduced Leo. If I fire at the full strength and just manage to only get 1 hit on it, he's going to be disrupted. If I have the camera pointed the right way. So if I fire at this Leo and get 1 hit, it's just going to disrupt the unit. However, if I fire at this Leo and get 1 hit, since it's already disrupted and reduced, that'll eliminate it. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and fire at that Leo right there. And it's 3 at 6. Yeah, 3 at 6. Should not be getting into long-range gun duels with T-55s. Their stats suck, but since most of the formation isn't moving and I can't move up to engage in close assault, we're going to have to get into gun duels. So 3 dice at 6. 2, 3, 4. Nothing. 2, 3, 4. Nothing. So that's a big goose egg there. And basically that's it for the formation. I'm not going to move the infantry. All right. So that's that for that. Next formation card. Oh, there we go. Close airstrike with the Alpha Jet. Yeah, only the Germans would take a trainer plane and make it into a light assault aircraft. French just use it as a trainer. The Germans, we're going to stick bombs and rockets and cluster munitions, and we're going to use it as a strike craft. All right, so basically you get Alpha Jet close air support. And I believe the stats are the same on both sides. There is no reduced value for an air support. So the first thing you got to do is it the first thing? Yeah, the first thing I think you got to do is to see if it gets intercepted on the way in. And that's real easy. You just roll, you roll a 1, it gets intercepted. 3, okay, it didn't get intercepted. Now, if it had been intercepted, you remove it from the game. They expended their ordnance trying to get away from the enemy fighters or whatnot. It's just that burns the airstrike. So even before the jet, even the airstrike shows up, there's a chance of it getting driven off. Now, where do I want to hit with this? Now, let's take a look at the stats. There is no range because you just place it on a hex you want to hit. It's 3-5-3-5. So it's either armor piercing or high explosive. The effects are going to be the same. 3-5. Now we know the Schlicka, the Zisku, Shikla, whatever, silly pronunciated Russian names are right there. So I don't want to get shot at by them because they've got an armor piercing. And now again, when anti-aircraft fire is firing at a jet, you have the option of either using the armor piercing or the high explosive. So, and honestly, your armor piercing is a bit longer range, 9 hexes compared to 5 with the high explosive. But we don't want to get shot at by the Zisku. You know, I don't think I want to go after this formation up here. I mean, basically, because the Leos, I've got a chance for this company this company to activate again, and they're going to be able to finish off that. You know what? I've got this infantry. This infantry forming up in these lines here. That's a real problem. That is definitely a real problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to come screaming in, and we're going to put the airstrike on that wood line right there. Great! Now what? Well, now you get opportunity fire. Now, I think the Zisku right here in the city hex, the village hex, might be able to shoot, because I think close airstrikes are considered like 4 levels higher than everything else. But he's right directly behind, and right now I really don't want to worry too much about the LOS rules for shooting at aircraft from inside a city hex. So what we're gonna do is, where is it? All right, so this formation, yellow stripe formation, has, come on, focus in, these SA-7s. These are this is an infantry support weapon. It's in blue. That means it's an anti-aircraft. SA, surface to air. So they've got the SA-7. So what they're going to do is they're going to go ahead and pop it. And you just place it when you want to use it. Just right like that. So you can basically, any support weapons that the formation starts off the game with can be used by the infantry, or, you know, the few limited armored units that can use them, and use it right, and you place it right when you want to use it. So basically the SA-7 is going to be firing the surface-to-air missiles at the Alpha jets, and real easy. It's just like any other. It's 3 dice at 5. Three dice at 5. We got a 6-3-2. Okay, so we got 1 hit on it, and the close air support has 2 dice at 6 for defense. And 4-4. Nope. Okay, so it takes 1 hit, and now I'm going to have to check this because I totally forgot to check. No, I didn't completely forget, but it's been a couple days since I checked what the effects of a hit on an airstrike is. So let's look at the really cool index again. Let's see. Anti-aircraft fire. Results versus close air support, page 64. 64 is, okay, hits by your anti-aircraft fire versus an enemy CAS unit counter covered by this section. If you score 2 or more hits on an enemy CAS counter, the enemy is eliminated, and so the card and counter immediately remove the scenario. If the CAS unit takes 1 hit, roll a d6. On a 1 through 3, the unit circles back, discard the card, and keep the counter in the HQSW ready to deployed holding box. This card is reshuffled into the formation deck for the next turn. Okay, cool. The result is 4 through 6. The unit calls off its run and returns to base. Remove the card and remove the counter from scenario. It is not considered eliminated for victory purposes. All right, so 50-50 chance. 1, 2, 3. The strike is called off. 4, 5, 6. It returns to base. 2. All right, so the strike is called off. The surface-to-air missiles streak up. The Alpha Jets don't want to brave it. So basically, it just goes back into the holding box. And we have our holding box card. And no, you can't really see it that well over here, but it's right there. It's where you put your headquarters and your support weapons and suppressed headquarters and your casualties, all that good stuff. So it just goes right back there. Zoom back out to normal. And the card just stays in the deck and continues in rotation. So there you go. That's it. That's an airstrike. Easy enough. All right, so next formation, 2 153rd Panzer again. All right, so this is where NATO starts to shine because their formations, typically most of their formations have an opportunity for 2 activations. Great. All right, so we'll go through, remove ops complete markers, and again, procedurally, refresh command status, reassign leaders, deploy HQ. I like where the HQ where it's at. Missile reload, nope. Disruption, removal. All right, so we get to roll for disruption again. 2 dice against command rating of 7. We'll go for the Lush this time first. 11, nope. And the Leo. Okay, 5. So that made their command rating. So disrupted marker gets removed. All right, now we go into our turn. Now, this is what I was saying about not wanting to use the airstrike up here because I knew that these Leos had an opportunity to get another attack in. And we're going to take the opportunity to do that attack right now. So we're going to take this half strength, this reduced strength, and they're going to fire at the reduced strength T-55s. So we're looking at 3 dice at 5. No modifiers for range, because range is 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just barely within regular range. No command bonus. 3 dice at 5. 1 hit. There we go. So 1 hit. And the T-55s have what? 2 dice at 6. 2 dice at 6 defense. Nope. 5-2. So 1 hit gets through. They're already disrupted. So the 1 hit immediately, the 1 hit becomes a step reduction. It's already reduced, so it is eliminated. And we get to put out a cool little wreck marker, which is good because I believe wreck markers actually give defensive modifier for units that are in their hex. Burnt out fire. Rex, yes, defensive for troops and vehicles. They get plus 1d6. So you're basically hiding in the remains of one of your buddies. So, truth of the battlefield, boys and girls. All right, so they get marked ops complete. This T-55 is going to go ahead and fire at the other, or this Leo is going to fire at the other T-55. Again, high explosive, or not high explosive, armor piercing. There's a full strength 4 dice at 5. 1 hit, and they've got 2 dice at 6 to defend. Oh, nope, they got a 3rd because of the wreck marker. Nope, so they're going to take 1 hit. They're already disrupted, and they're going to go ahead and take a casualty, a step loss, but they have a headquarters there. You have to roll to see if the headquarters take casualties. Headquarters. Out of command. Unsuppressing. Bonus. Command bonus. Damage. Damage results. Page 63. 63. Okay. Headquarters and leaders may not be directly targeted, but may be affected if any units with which they are stacked are reduced or eliminated. If a unit stacked with an HQ or leader is reduced, roll 1d6. If a unit stacked with HQ leader is eliminated instead, but another unit, roll, add 2 to the dice roll. Alright, so... On a result of 1 through 3, the HQ is not affected. On a 4 through 6, the HQ is reduced or the leader is wounded, and the headquarters is already reduced, remains reduced, and moved to the suppressed holding box. Leader is already wounded, is eliminated. So 1d6. 1, 2, 3, it's going to be fine. Hey, there we go. So the headquarters is fine. And that's going to finish off that unit. So now we've got the Leo stacked with the headquarter. I think they're going to fire at this unit here, this T-55. So again, I'm sure it's within range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 9 hexes, 4 dice at 5, but it gets an additional 2 for the headquarters bonus. So 6 dice at 5. 2 hits. 6, 6, 1, 2, 2, 3. So 2 hits. Right there, like that. Now, the Soviet, the T-55, is 2 dice at 6. However, it is in a village hex right there. You can see that. And tanks get an additional 1d6 defensive dice when they're in a village hex. So we're looking at 3 dice at 6 to reduce 2 hits. Yep, well, there's 1 hit. Oh, or not 1 hit, 1 success. So 2 hits is reduced to 1 hit, which disrupts it, and it's not been disrupted already, so she'll get the disrupted marker on her. And we'll go ahead and take the ops complete marker off because you can leave it on there, but disrupted units can't really op fire, and the reason you got the ops complete on there is to make sure that they don't do ops fire when it's not their turn. So you could leave it on there if you want. I take it off just because I don't like having the board cluttered with a lot of counters. Not like when I was playing Squadly ASL, you need to have, stacks 25 high in the game. I just would prefer not to have that. That's basically that for that formation. So we know we've pulled 2 formation cards for those guys already, so we're not going to see any more formation cards for them. Okay, what do we got next? 3, 6, 7... Guards Motorized Rifle Regiment. That's these guys right here. All right, so no ops complete markers to remove. Actually, technically there is. That should have been marked with an ops complete because they did the op fire with the man-packed surface to air missiles. Go ahead and remove ops complete markers. Procedurally, let's look through this. Reassign leaders, deploy headquarters, and check for command effects. I think the headquarters is okay right there with that infantry. Although, actually, you know what? No. Let's shift the headquarters over here to those BMPs. Yeah. And then check for command range. Again, command range is on the formation card. Full strength of 4, half strength of 3. So make sure everybody's within the range. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, everybody down here is in range. That's what you. It's one of the things you really got to pay attention to when you're moving your headquarters around. Is that everybody is in range. So that was move headquarters and command effects. Roll missile reload. Now, granted, we have one unit that is completely out. No missile out. They can't re-roll at all for the rest of the game. That's done. Then click. Check to disrupted units. None, no disrupted. Execute off-board artillery strikes. I could have done, it's something I could have done when that formation activated again. Well, I could have. Nah, I'm not going to. They were already out in the open. I was going to shoot them anyways. No use in wasting an artillery strike up there. But I could have. Soviets have got no artillery strikes, so they can't call in any artillery strikes. So now it goes to the action phase. Nobody's disrupted. All right, well, then it's the action phase. What do we want to do? What's the range? The infantry range is 2. Well, it's 2 regardless. So 1, 2, 3. I think that would be blocked. Nope, it's a direct line straight down. Oh, you know what? I better check that. Since it is going along a hex edge of a blocking terrain. Again, more charts, more great charts for checking the line of sight. So, all right, let's take a look. Obscuring, one blocking hex. Okay, same unit height, 2 blocking hexes along the hex side is blocked. So you can fire along the hex side of the first blocking hex, but if you fire along the second blocking hex of a blocking hex side, then it's blocked. But since we're only passing by the hex side of a blocking hex one time, then we'll be able to get the shot off. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. These guys are still in the APC, so we're going to have to use our armor piercing value. So it's 2 dice at 5, but it's long range dice, so it's actually going to be 1 dice at 5. 6. Hey, that's a hit. I wasn't expecting them to get a hit. All right, so the martyr gets basically 1 save, 1 dice at 6, and it doesn't have any defensive terrain bonuses. So 1 dice at 6. No, it gets hit again. It's already disrupted, so it takes a second hit. It's already been hit, so that martyr is destroyed. Put that in the casualty box. We got headquarters there, and we got infantry that are riding along with it, and I'm fairly certain I know what the dice roll is because we did it last game, but plus we're kind of seeing a familiar pattern emerge on a lot of the dice rolls. 1, 2, 3 good, 4, 5, 6 bad. So let's take a look just to make sure what happens to the infantry being transported. Transport, combat results, page 63. Okay. If a ground transport unit is eliminated, 1 through 3 passengers are reduced and disrupted. Roll for usual for the reducing wounded of attached HQs or leaders. 4 through 6, the passengers and any HQ or leader with them is also eliminated. Well, I guess it really doesn't matter because the ground transport was eliminated and the infantry is already reduced. So they're going to take 1 step loss regardless of what I roll. So that's going to eliminate that infantry unit. So put them in the dead pile. And now we've got the HQ. Again, 1, 2, 3, it lives. 4, 5, 6, it doesn't. But since there is not another unit that it can attach to, we got to add 2 to the dice roll. So 2 plus 2 is 4, so it's going to be eliminated. Well, technically it's not eliminated. You don't really ever eliminate a headquarters, but you can force it to its reduced side. Now, it's going to go over, and I can't really move it over there. My camera doesn't have a good angle on it. There, in your holding boxes, you've got a suppressed HQ, and that's basically what the effect of this is. Since the HQ has been removed due to combat, it's considered suppressed, so we put it over in the suppressed holding box. And the next time that these Panzergrenadiers activate, then I can bring the reduced side headquarters back on. You're always going to have a headquarters element. You're always going to have some type of command and control element. It's just if it's full strength or if it's half strength. All right, so that's. Let's use the right counter. Then let's see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So they can reach out as well with their armor piercing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Be normally 2 dice at 5, but it's going to be 1 dice at 5 because of the extended range. And a 6. These Soviets are just dead on. All right, again, these guys got 1 dice that they can save with at a 6. No defensive modifiers. 1. Okay, so they take a hit. They're reduced. Roll to see what happens to the infantry. 1, 2, 3. They're okay. 4, 5, 6. They're reduced. Oh, no. It's not. They're disrupted. First hit disrupts. Ugh, good thing I caught that. All right, so first hit, they're disrupted. All right, no casualties, don't have to worry about that, anything like that. So their ops complete. These guys are going to move up into position. And you know what? They can move and fire. Let's take a look at our chart just to make sure. Right here. No, that's not it. God, I just had it. There it is. Make sure you've got enough table space to spread out, boys and girls. All right, so it's any ground unit with a black, blue, or green AP or HE, which is basically what restrictions we're falling into. Expend at least one movement point, up to half, which is we spent one movement point. -2 firepower dice down to a minimum of 1. All right, so they moved, fired and moved. It would normally be -2 firepower dice, but to a minimum of 1, so they have 1 firepower dice. Its extended range, I better make sure I'm doing the extended range right. Suddenly there's a niggling part of my head that says, have I been doing that wrong? Because I question everything I do. Let's make sure I'm doing that. Combat. Let's see. Direct fire restrictions and modifiers, page 60. Okay, let's see. Long range, +1 to hit. So I was doing long range incorrectly. Fudge. +1 to hit. Oh well. All right, so before anybody writes in, and I hope nobody has written in and hit the enter key real quick, so I've been doing long range fire wrong. That's why I like to question myself. +1 to hit. All right, so. But move and fire is -1 firepower. All right, so what does that mean? I should have been rolling for 6s with these guys there because of the extended range. Oh well. We're going to roll with it. I'm not going to go back. Don't care that much. Just trying to have fun. Roll the dice. Worry about the rules later. So these guys moved here. Move and fire. -1 to the firepower. So from 2 at a 5 to hit to a 1. Extended range, +1 to hit from a 5 to a 6. Make sure I got that. Why, for some reason, is that not sticking? +1 to hit for long range fire, right? And minus firepower dice for moving and firing. Right, so we're looking at 1 dice at 6. 4, okay, they finally miss. Although I don't think it really made that much of a difference because I think the Soviets did roll 6s here anyways. Alright, so that's successful. And this unit could have fired off fire if he wasn't disrupted, and this unit can't because the way the hills work is that I can't see those units down in those woods. Actually, I don't even think they could have fired. Let's check the line of sight. That's why I almost wish... No, actually they couldn't have fired. Looks like it clips that hill right there. But they still had to move up anyways. Alright, so what are we going to do with the rest of the formation? I think we want to pull the Zissou back because they don't want to have their butts hanging out in the air with those leopards up there getting ready to continue rolling. So let's go ahead and move the Zissou back. Probably not the best place for it because our air support is still running around. I want to move those T-62s. But where to move them? I mean, I could go... see, with this... Yeah, with this entire village about ready to catch fire... you know what? Let's just go ahead and move here. So at least I can try to ambush and take sniping shots at these Leos as they come around. Because if the fire moves this way, I'm going to have to retreat to here or here. And if the fire spreads from this hex, I'm going to have to, yeah, so this, and then I'll be forced across the river. Yeah, it's best for me to move that guy there now. What else have we got? We got these guys. Now, let's go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to say screw it. Because right now, I don't think the Soviets need to be worried about staying in the village to protect it, because if the entire village catches on fire, the West Germans aren't going to be able to capture the hexes anyways. So, but let's go ahead and reinforce this wood line here. And then let's take this guy and go 1, 2, and put him right there. Because at least we know that hex isn't going to catch on fire like we've got right here. Horrible, 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 horrible. And I think that's going to do that for that formation. I don't think there's anybody else I want to move. Oh, I moved him there. So mark one of them, since they're identical units anyways. Mark one of them with ops complete. Alright, there we go. That formation is done. What have we got? Up, end of operations. So that's the first end of operations card. So the second one that pops up will end the turn. 4 152nd Panzer Grenadier. That's these guys right here, which are severely reduced at this point. Alright, so again, procedurally, let's go ahead. Take a look. Refresh, remove ops complete. None. Command status, reassign leaders, deploy headquarters, check for command effects, and missile reload. Okay, so since the headquarters that was here was eliminated, got put into the holding box, it now comes back onto the field. We're going to put him right there, attached to that infantry, which they should have been at the very beginning of the turn, or beginning of the game, but no, because I'm a tactical idiot sometimes. Let's see, offboard, okay, check to remove disruption markers. Headquarters of the 152nd Panzer Grenadier is a 7. Now, again, remember, the command value isn't reduced when they take a step loss. It's the command range is reduced. So their command range was a 5 at full strength. They're at half strength now, so it's a 4. But the command rating still stays the same. So those disrupted units right there in the transport, well, let's do the martyrs first, is a 5. I think if the transport comes undisrupted, it also affects the passengers. We're just going to go with that. I'm not going to worry about checking the rules on that. Check for command. Yeah, everybody's in command radius. Straight into operations. Call in air artillery strikes, which if I had the headquarters there, I could call in artillery strikes, but no, I don't have that. Okay, so anyway, so operations. Okay, well, you know what? We need to get up in their face. We know we're not going to catch any op fire because anybody who could op fire at him is all ops complete. All that entire formation is ops complete. So we know we're not going to catch opportunity fire. So what we're going to do is we're going to close assault these SOBs. Because I think that'll be better. Yeah, we're going to do Panzer Grenadier assault. I believe I can move half my move and unload a unit into an adjacent hex. I was reading that the other day. But again, because my mind is like a sieve and I can't retain any information. Transport. Disrupted, helicopter. Load, unload, page 49. Load, unload, unloading into assault. Passenger's act of unloading will trigger op fire. In this case, is considered to be in the transport. Okay, so there is no op fire there because the Soviets are already ops complete. Transports may unload into an enemy-occupied hex adjacent to their transport unit. This is only permitted during the movement portion of an assault action. And unloading... a transport may remain in its hex or move up to half its movement points, and then passengers may unload into an adjacent hex. All right, so half their movement is 6, so I can move 3 to unload. Do I assault as soon as I unload, or is that at the end of movement? Well, let's take a look at the sequence of play. See if the sequence of play will assist us. Okay. Units may move into an adjacent enemy-occupied hex and attack. Well, you know what? Just so we're not going to confuse ourselves too much, let's go 1, 2, 3, and unload them into the assault. Like so. All right, well, then it goes into assault. I haven't cleared myself on the rules in assault in a while because I didn't think I'd be getting into them. So let's take a look, boys and girls, at the assault rules. Or at least listen while I read the assault rules. One of the two. Let's see. Assaults. Page 70. I got a good idea how it works, but I just want to confirm. 69. 70. Assault actions. Unit with assault value may initiate combat upon entering in any occupied hex. A unit without an assault value may not. Yada, yada, yada. Assault modifiers. Infantry assault versus vehicles, cross bridge night, vehicle assault. Okay, resolving an assault. Each of your attacking units rolls its individual modified number of assault firepower dice and scores a hit for each number, results equal to or greater than its modified hit number. The defender, if eligible, then counterattacks the same way. Hits are now applied by both sides. Each unit in the stack receiving one hit must receive one hit before taking another. There's not a number of hits roll randomly. If the defender is not eliminated and receives more hits than inflicted, it retreats one hex. The attacker now occupies the hex. Okay. If the defender is not eliminated, the attacker did not inflict more hits than it received, the attacker must retreat. Yeah, it's basically there's no saving throws. Right here, yellow note. In an assault, there are no saved hits. There are only hits. There are no reduction in hits for armor values, defensive bonuses for terrains or concealment, etc. So yeah, it's straight up knife fight. So I got 2 dice at 4, not modified by anything. 6 and a 3. All right, so we got 1 hit on the Soviets. And now the Soviet infantry is going to be returning. Its assault value is 2-4, so it's going to have 2 dice at 4 as well. And 1 and 2. All right, so it inflicted no hits. So 1 hit is just going to be a straight up disruption, I think. Let's check that, because again, assaults are nasty, bloody, and brutal. Let's check to see exactly what the definition of a hit and assault is. Okay, resolving scores a hit. Counterattack the same way. Okay, yeah, so so it is a hit, not a step loss. So the Soviets take 1 hit, which is going to disrupt them. They inflicted no hits on the West German forces, so they have to retreat. Like so. We'll go ahead and remove the ops complete marker because they are disrupted. Now, had the Soviets inflicted more hits on the Germans would have been forced to retreat back to the hex that they were in. Obviously, assaults are actually bloody, but really, when you just read about it, it's fairly simple. All right, to conduct anyways. So now, what do I want to do here? I'm not sure I want to dump. Oh, and because let's go 1, 2, 3. Well, I can go to there and still fire. You know what? All right, so we're right here. Let's go 1, 2, 3, and let's go ahead and fire. We're firing on the move, and the Martyr actually has pretty good high explosive value. It's 4 dice at 4 dice, 4 range 4, 2 dice at 5. All right, so it's moving and firing. Get out our other chart again, because I can't keep this information straight to save my life sometimes. And of course, I just lost the chart again. Bless it. There it is. It's a black HE number. So expend at least 1 movement point up to half. Any ground unit with black, blue, or green AP or HE minus 2 dice, minimum 1. So I moved up to half, which is 3 movement points. So it'd be minus 2 firepower dice to a minimum of 1. So 1 dice. It's not extended range. Ah, but it is close range. Ah, we can't forget the close range. Close range. Since it's half or under the range, I get close range fire. What is close range fire? Point blank, minus 1 to hit for direct fire. Not on board or close assault. On board artillery or close assault. So we're at point blank range. Plus 1 to hit, so it's going to be 1 dice at 4. 4. There we go. That's a hit. So one of the infantry units is going to take it. Now, normally infantry can't roll saves at all, period. They don't have a save number. But if they're in defensive terrain, which they are, then they do get to roll defensive. And Woods is plus 1, or is 1 defensive dice for infantry. So we rolled a 2, which isn't going to be high enough, so they end up taking the hit anyways. So 1 hit will disrupt them. And I don't think we're going to unload the infantry yet. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and unload the infantry. There's still... And since we unloaded the infantry, can they fire on the move? I think they can. So again, 2 dice at 5. 1 dice for fire, reduced to 1 dice for firing on the move. Point blank range, 1 dice at 4. And if I'm doing this wrong, I'm sure someone will tell me. Teeth. So there's a 6. I don't think I don't appreciate people telling me when I'm wrong. If I get something wrong, tell me. It's the only way I learn the system, because I'm playing solitaire here, so I don't have normally other people to bounce rules off of. And I get things wrong all the time. I'm just some guy tossing dice out here. Why is there a T-62 there? Oh, no, I moved the T-62 up. That's right. Oops. Forgot that T-62 was there. Oh, well, doesn't change things any. And since we're doing high explosive fire, we're firing at the other infantry unit. So, did 1 hit on the infantry unit. Again, they've got 1 dice. 5 now. Soft targets, is it a 5 or a 6? For soft target saves. I think it's a 5 or a 6 for soft target saves. For infantry saves. Defensive bonus. It's page 76. Okay, that's strike procedure. Applying hits an assault. Nope. Direct fire results. That's anti-aircraft. Combat. I think it's a 5 or 6. Well, you know what? Screw it. We're going to say 5 or 6. So 5 made the save. Shrugs off the 1 hit. Alrighty. There we go. that's going to be that. Formation's turn is done. So, all right, let's see what we got next. End of operations. Bam. There you go. End of the turn. And end of the turn, you remove all ops complete markers. And where would that... Oh, you know what? Oh, I think... Oh, no, that right now. Okay. Again, I'm an idiot. That T-55 should have been there. This infantry was right there. All right, fine. I get so confused sometimes. Alrighty. Hope I'm not confusing everybody who's watching this too much. Save your hate for the end of the message, for the end of the video. Sometimes I catch it. Alright, so end of turn. Yeah, well, we've got lots of stuff we got to do. Adjust and or remove smoke thinning markers, none. Adjust and or remove electronic warfare and reducing markers, none. Check for fire, marker effects, spreading fire, and fire burnout. Alright. Okay, that's odd. Which order do we do it? Check for fire marker effects, spreading fire, and fire burnout. I need to check the 2.34. The procedure is... Okay, perform these steps in order. Fire burnout is first. All right, so not sure why they have... If procedurally you check for fire burnout first, you would think that would be listed first on the turn sequence chart. Again, prototype edition. Hopefully that got caught before it goes to the publishers. All right, so fire burnout procedure. We've got 2 fires, and again, it's a 1 in 6. So no, fire keeps burning, and the other hex. Nope, keeps burning. All right, so now we got to check for spread, and this is going to be a little bit annoying. So this hex is going to check for spread there, and that's going to be a 4, 5, or 6 spread. Nope, doesn't spread, and we check for spread to there. Yep, it spreads to there. Now this fire, we need to check to see if it spreads to there. And see how fires can really get out of control real quick. Nope. See if it spreads to there. 4, 5, or 6. Yep, spreads to there. And now we also got to see if it spreads to there. 4, 5, or 6. It spreads to there and pushes these guys out. So since the fire's coming from this way, they got to retreat to there, there, or there. Can't go there because it's across the river. So let's go ahead and push them there. Wow. I hope that building burns, that village burns itself out soon, or I'm not going to be able to capture any of the hexes. But there we go. That's turn 2, boys and girls. And so basically we just go ahead, advance turn 2. All formations activated. Let's make sure. Yep, Panzer Grenadier, Panzer... Yep, both Soviet formations activated, both West German forces activated. Those were the 2 cards that we had left. We didn't see the helicopters pop up. I was hoping to see the helicopters pop up. But that's basically turn 2, boys and girls. Yeah, I know. Messed some things up in the rules. I do that often. But I caught a good number of them. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms in the comment section. I'll see everybody next time. See ya!